for the love of old stone houses. It all started in a small hamburger cafe in Rexdale when George and I first met after an encounter in the health centre where I was the company nurse and he was the patient with a pseudo headache. At some point the statement, "I always wanted a farm," was said. To this day we don't know who uttered these words first, but they came to pass. We were married soon after. With two of George's friends, we were looking for property and came upon a farm with an old run-down stone house, a barn and 100 acres of land. We purchased the property. George and his friends said the house should be demolished. Horrified, I said, "You can't pull it down. It's a piece of history. We should refurbish it." I grew up in England with old houses all around. Stonecrop Farm, as we named the property, had a small stone house with 2 rooms downstairs and 3 bedrooms upstairs. The owners had 21 cats living in the house, weird-looking animals, plus many milk snakes in the walls and basement. When the owners left the property, the cats left as well, but not the milk snakes. George insulated the walls and ceiling and rewired and replumbed, making a living room and a kitchen downstairs. We had our first son Andrew at this time. He had his nursery in one of the upstairs bedrooms. George and I had the second room, and we made a bathroom in the third. The old summer kitchen, refurbished with red barn board walls and a Franklin wood stove, became our gathering area plus a playroom for our 3 small sons. We had to hire a professional to remove our snake population. Milk snakes can give birth to 12 live snakelings. One experience I will never forget was needing clean diapers. I had some soaking in the basement laundry sink. I looked in horror. A thick 2-foot-long snake was coiled up in this mass of diapers. I let out a scream, to which my husband responded, "What's the matter?" To which I replied, "A snake! What do you want me to do with it?" I am a nurse saving life, so George took the intruder and it was released to the great outdoors. The property, although beautiful, consisted of large rocks everywhere. We lived at Stonecrop for 6 years, but began to feel cramped because of the small house size. The farm was isolated, the nearest neighbour being a mile away, and I didn't drive. One day I saw a for sale sign in our township, a large fixer-upper stone house on acreage. I phoned my husband at work saying, "Shall I phone?" To which he replied, "Do what you want," not realising what he had said. End result, we sold Stonecrop to a TV personality on the programme Take 30, whom I had watched every afternoon when the boys were having their nap. We managed to come up with the down payment on Windrush Farm, the name I gave the property, and it lives up to its name. The house was derelict and had been unoccupied for 4 years. A young man had frozen to death in one of the back bedrooms, we were told. All the windows were broken, some doors could not be pushed open, floors were in a rotten shape. The roof on the main part of the house had a 1-foot sag in the middle. The summer kitchen roof and the floor had totally collapsed. The stone walls and the ceiling were completely without insulation, such that the old furnace was inadequate to heat the place. The electrical service was hopelessly out of date. There were 6 bedrooms, but no bathroom. Surrounding the house was overgrown with weeds, brush, and goldenrod. The barn was full of foul manure and it needed work. What a total depressing mess. The interior of the house was painted with horrible colours of old-fashioned milk paint, the devil's own job to remove to restore the glorious pine surfaces. George lived by himself in one of the bedrooms with a large electric heater and a small cooktop for a year. He had a box in the barn for a toilet and a large black Labrador dog as his companion. He rewired, plumbed, installed new supporting walls, insulated, etc., etc., etc. He was still working full-time at his engineering sales job. I moved to Ward's Island in Toronto Harbour to a friend's cottage with the 3 boys, 4, 3 and 2. The cottage had to be cleaned and sanitised thoroughly because a hepatitis B mother and child had lived there. I painted, papered and decorated. It was small, but it was adequate. I'd lived on the island for 2 years before I married, so had friends to return to. The boys loved the beach, made friends, enjoyed activities, the island school, the ferry trips, but they were a handful, especially for one parent. The day dawned when the family was to be together. I returned to clean, paint, paper and rub down 20 pine doors, baseboard trim and re-establish our family life once more. It's been a labour of love, but well worth the effort. We have preserved a piece of history built originally by a Scotch stonemason in 1875. As a family, we became Angus cattle farmers, Labrador dog breeders, operators of bed and breakfast farm vacations, have met wonderful people from all over the world and cared for so many animals. Our sons, grandson and great-grandson and their friends have had their lives enriched by life at Windrush.